Hey, and welcome to Wednesday with Wilna. I'm back, and I'm so happy to be back. My name is Wilna Furstenberg, and I live in Canada, and I'm a South African. That's why I speak with an accent. But I'm going to do some wild things, okay? Are you ready? I think you need to buckle your seatbelt. So the first thing I did, which I talked through, was just to prep my scrapbook papers. I use American Craft heavyweight cardstock with some white gesso. So heavy gesso, and I just used like a teaspoon and a bank card. Use your husband's credit card. That's the best thing to use, or just an old, hotel key card. And then I painted it with this beautiful ink. It's called Liquitex acrylic ink. And it's this beautiful purple color. And you can see how I just squished it on and I painted it. Hey? And now I'm using this stencil. And you can find the stencil in the related products on my blog. And I'm using a Tim Holtz dabber and some heavy gesso, and I'm just dabbing it all over the place with these beautiful white roses. So this page is 100% inspired by the art journaling page that I posted on my blog, I think yesterday, March 8th. If you're watching this in the future, then yesterday won't be yesterday for you. Okay, so once this is dry, let's see what I'm doing now. Adding some black. Okay, so we're going dark, moving over to the dark side. I've never made scrapbook pages like this. I just haven't, and I'm so excited to just do something new, So I added some black Liquitex ink, and now I'm just going to paint with it, You can see I'm holding my brush really lightly and I'm just painting. And there you go. Just leave it. And now it can dry. I'm actually working on 4 scrapbook pages at the same time, very much like the art journaling pages, because then I can set one aside and the other one can dry. Okay, now I'm just going to bring some lightness back into the layout by painting with some parchment color. That's the name of the paint, Liquitex heavy body, and the name is parchment. And I like it because it's almost like a gray. It's not quite a beige. I don't know. I just love the color, but sometimes it can be a little too gray. It's always a good thing to maybe wait till your paint is dry. So I'm just painting it a little bit back because, and you can see how I'm following the ink splatters. I'm not painting over everything, but you know what? You sort of have a guide in which you can paint there. And yeah, so that's just another layer. So again, this page is full of layers, but I just loved the way it turned out. I just absolutely love it. And now I'm going to bring it back, and now I'm just going to paint again with this color whose name I can't figure out. It's pink, so I think it's coral. That's the name of the color. I'm gonna call it coral. It's not quite coral, it's a little bit more orange, but I'm gonna paint back with the coral paint color, and I'm just gonna cover that. The parchment was a little gray, and now I'm gonna set it aside and dry again. So it's a process. You know what? You work and you let it dry, and you work and you let it dry. And, there's some parts of it that you just want to keep. For instance, you know what? That paint splatter, that black one, you can see it. I just kept it. And now I'm just painting over the stencil again with the same color, just bringing back those beautiful little roses at the top of the page, mixing in a little bit more of the orange pink. And then I'm just going to... It's just to bring it back a little bit because I painted over the white ones. And look at that. It's already starting to look amazing. And now I'm just using the red Liquitex ink, thinking that I can write with the paint, with the dabber, but it didn't work. So I'm taking my page, my little, and I'm just writing. And you know what? It's not about what I'm writing here. But it's just the texture of it. And I love the paint. And you'll see I'm even going to be scribbling with some pastels on it just to add more to that because I just love it. So my pages was inspired by an amazing mixed media artist called Ban, and I'll have her her YouTube channel for you linked in the description, and I just have to write it down to remember. And you can see I also added some paint splatters and red paint splatters and some white ones. And I've learned that the higher up you hold the little paint dripper, the more splatter it gets. So it's amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to finish my page. So I'm bringing out my oil pastels and I'm just going to scribble with them. You know, I love the red text that you can see there, but I just decided to add one more dimension to it, just scribble over it. I actually did write words, but they're not readable really. And I love the depth of that oil pastels there, you know, so love it. So you can see how this page is getting together. That's also a white one, and I used a little springbok flourish there. I don't know, it's just a little bundle of a protea and a jacaranda tree, and then the little springbok. And then I'm going to use my hot glue gun and just adhere everything, okay? Or not the hot glue gun. I shouldn't predict what I'm doing here because it's really unpredictable. A little bit of soft gel, just adding that. I did print those images or illustrations. I printed on mixed media paper, which is super smooth but nice and thick. And then I did it print and cut with my silhouette. So I have multiple print and cut tutorials. But what I also did is, for those of you who have the silhouette, is I included the SVG file of the illustration. So now you can ungroup the illustration. So if you only want to paint or print and cut a couple, one, you can delete the other two. So that's nice. But if you don't have the silhouette, you can still buy my illustrations because they're all in PDF form, and it's so easy just to open the PDF and to print it on a thick paper, you know, just a cardstock that can go into a normal printer. Okay, I'm painting back a little bit with white, being careful not to cover everything. You can see how I'm painting around the shapes and forms that's already there. And now I'm going to add the adventure. And let's see what I do next. Usually I'm just as surprised as you. A little bit of white paint, just painting around the illustration again. And that way, the white border of the illustration, you know, it just blends it in. I think that's my idea. Also a little bit of detail, painting it in. And this white Liquitex acrylic ink is amazing. People, I don't know, I've never found a product that I love so much, and it's because of its opaqueness. It's even better than white watercolor, because even white watercolor is not this opaque when you paint over it like on different media, but this one just holds its opaqueness, and you can see there how crisp and clear the white is, which is rare, you know. It's not always common to find it. Even the speedball ink, I don't like that. The pigment settles on the bottom, and you almost need a hand mixer to mix everything up again, and usually that just ends up being a big mess for me. Okay, so just painting with my number one. It's a round brush, size 1. Just a brush that I bought from Michael's, and you can see how fine you can go with it. Just painting in a few flourishes here, and this is just embroidering, really. It's not, it's just having fun with it, nothing too serious. And I'm just opening the image big so I can exactly see what I'm doing here on my computer. Yeah. What I love, and you can't really see it on the video, but you can actually see it in the page that I will have on my blog, is even on the black at the top, those flowers that I painted in white the first time, they shine, the texture of it comes through the black. So you can actually see the flowers. So I'm using hot glue to add the adventure, and the adventure is also a print and cut with my silhouette. And this photographs of Yana just worked so beautifully with these pages. So much so that I used her on all 4 pages that I'm going to make. And it's really, I don't know, the page picks the picture for me a lot of the times, especially with these. I mean, look at that. It just works. When I put the photograph on there, I was giving a big sigh of relief, like, oh, how perfect, you know? And then there's lots of white space where I can do my journaling, you know, and add some more details and things. So yes, I did add some scrapbook products. So I bought this from Michael's. How pretty is that? It's this boho collection with these tassels, and it's so hip and cool, and it just worked with the theme, you know. And there was 4 of those little things in a packet, and I used one on every page. And maybe it was those little embellishments that inspired right from the beginning, the colors, I don't know, but it just worked like perfectly. So now I'm using Tim Holtz, those little sayings from him. You can find a link in the related products. And I'm just going to tuck it underneath the adventure words there. And I'm going to use some hot glue just to adhere them all together. And then I'm just going to use a couple of phrases. And I love it because it just brings in it's almost like an embellishment. And I love the fact that it's meaningful as well because of the words, but I love text. So I'm just going to use that, and I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue and adhere that tassel right there. And then I thought to mount my page on a background paper like I usually do. And in the end, I did trim this page a little smaller, and I tried the background paper, and I'll show you in a little bit. But then I decided, no, I shouldn't do that. The inside of this page is busy enough that I need the white border. So it's almost like opposite what I usually do. Usually the inside is quiet, that I need a little bit of a border. But for this series that I created, I decided, you can see there, it just doesn't work well with the stripes. So I took it apart. It just did not work at all for me. Maybe you like it, but not. I absolutely hated it, to be honest. And then I took it apart and I just mounted it on plain white paper. And then I was so happy. I was so happy with it. So I hope you find it interesting seeing the art journaling page and then the matching scrapbook page. And the next week I'll bring you another one. And look at that. Now that just worked for me. So thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your comments on this page and just on this new wild thing I'm doing. And I hope you play along with me. So up next is just that little advertisement of the adventure collection. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.